Greetings, everybody. This is James with Tennyson Financial Group, here to give you guys some news that you can use. We're here to kind of give you an update as far as a review that was made by the Tax Advocate Service, which is an independent organization of the IRS. They basically did a review of this year's tax season, which is never over. Tax season is never over. But they kind of put some points out there that I'd like to get out there to you guys. Kind of explaining what took place this year, and it's a review. I will drop the link in the comments once the video is done, but just tune in. Some of these things may apply to you, and it can give you a better explanation so you just don't feel like you're dangling. So this link, this is the review that was made. There were a lot of points that were made, and for starters, it's 23 pages, but I'm not going to do all 23 pages. What I did was kind of reviewed the main points and tried to highlight some things in particular that I thought was important or that may apply to a lot of customers, including mine. So first and foremost, it starts off pretty strong. It says this 2021 filing season was the quintessential definition of a perfect storm. Pretty much they're saying that nobody anticipated the pandemic, all these legislation changes that took place, and pretty much it was anything that could go wrong went wrong. Kind of a Murphy's Law situation. So they started it off pretty extreme, but this year has been nothing but. So it resulted in a historically high volume of unanswered telephone calls, which applies to a lot of you guys, including myself, and phone assistants, historically low level of service. So this is some of the things that it talks about: the third round of stimulus, the advanced premium tax credit, recalculating unemployment, so on and so forth. So like I said, it's 23 pages. So I'm just going to hit the points that I see that were highlighted, and some of the stuff that was in red in particular that really stuck out to me. So the first one is that there is a backlog of over 35 million suspended tax returns. So what does that mean? A lot of these tax returns had to be manually reviewed, meaning they had to have eyeballs on those tax returns, and they had 35 million of them. And that's just not taken into account for this year. That's including last year as well. And so we're going to discuss that a little more as we go on. One of the first things that stuck out this year to me in particular as a tax professional was they pushed the date back to start processing returns for this tax season. And so normally around the end of January, they start accepting returns. Some of those clients are prepared. A lot of them, if they're looking for, overextended themselves during the holidays and looking for some type of advance or something, they usually start trying to file towards the end of January. But most of the customers, though, clients and American people, they get their paperwork towards the beginning of February. Some of them drags their feet, some of them, whatever the case may be. People go at their own time, but they push the date back to start processing them all the way back to February the 12th. And there was a reason behind that, and they're kind of going to discuss that in here. Another thing that they discussed was that the normal deadline is April 15th. So in many states, it was extended to May the 17th. And for a few exceptional states, including Texas, we got pushed back a little bit even further to June because of the storm, some things like that. They were hit with some real life stuff on top of the pandemic that added to, and it gave them a little extra time to get things sorted out. But basically, we started late and we finished late, and we're still not finished. We're still working. So one of the things that they said was agency operations remained at a reduced capacity due to social distancing, health and safety, both taxpayers, employees, families. It was a national emergency. So this right here also stuck out. The IRS estimated that more than 11.7 million paper filed individual and business returns that is still needed to process manually. And this is as of December 25th, 2020. So Christmas Day of 2020, they had 11.7 million paper individual and business returns that hadn't been processed yet. So what does that tell me? That tells me that's part of the reasoning for them pushing back the processing date for the 2021 filing season. Man, if you got 11.7 tax returns that are paper, not going through a software electronically or anything, they actually have to have eyeballs on there. It's going to take them a while. So them pushing that date back was wise. It was an inconvenience to a lot of people, but it was wise. What they, the bullet point previously to that one basically said that because of COVID and, the social distancing, I can tell you personally that talking on the phone with the IRS representatives, a lot of them were working from home. And so I can just say it like this, a lot of people work from home. Anybody who works from home, especially during the pandemic, you understand that it's a lot, how can I say, it's a lot more tempting to get into bed and turn that TV on, even though you're trying to go out there and get your paper and handle your business. So, that was some things that had to be taken into consideration as far as time. They were already backed up prior to this tax season. Okay, so these were some of the dates. We're going to discuss these. It kind of discusses it throughout the 23 pages. December 27th, COVID Consolidated Coronavirus Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act, some legislation that took place. The IRS begins distributing the second round of economic payments. That's STEMI money. So that STEMI money, the second round came through, and that was a delay, because, man, a lot of people didn't get the first round. So they were gearing up in the second round when they're actually supposed to be gearing up for the tax season. So they were dishing. They've been working hard, guys. So take it easy on the IRS. I know it can be frustrating, but these guys have been working their tails off. They've been trying to deal with the first stimulus check, the second stimulus check, the third stimulus check, the American Rescue Plan Act, PPP, all of that good stuff, man. They've been dealing with some of it all. So March, during tax season, is when they started doing the third round of stimmies. And they announced the postponement of the deadline. Those were just some dates. So remember, this is an independent organization that works with the IRS. So basically, they're your ally. Now, this page right here stuck out in particular to me because it, you might lie, I might lie, but numbers don't lie. So with 2018, if you're looking at 2018, there were 136 million tax returns that, had been receipted. They acknowledged the receipt, and 130 million of them were processed. Well, if we skip right over to last year when the pandemic first took place, there were more people processing returns last year. There were more people filing returns last year than there were in 2018. Almost, about 16, 17 million, whatever. And then additionally, in 2021, it was 148 million. So even though it was less tax returns processed this year than last year, you still got to take into accountability. As of December 25th of 2020, they were 11.7 million tax returns backed up before January even came around. And I want you to understand this. There are eyeballs manually looking at these tax returns. So it's going to be a lot longer. It was a lot longer to process those because they had to have eyeballs on them. This is e-filing receipt. So basically total e-filing. This is your tax professionals, us, your mom and pop stores, H&R Block, all those big name guys. And then we've got the self-prepared. These are your TurboTax people, your Free Tax USA, all of that good stuff. So overall, it was 138 and that was just e-file. That's not taking into account of paper as well. So refund amounts, they dished out a lot more. And this is 2018. This over here is 2021. This is 2020. I only highlighted 2020 and 2021 because those are the most recent and is what's fresh in the American people's mind right now. Those numbers. Now, refunds, 100 million refunds, 95 million refunds, direct deposit. Now, this is what caught my eye right here. So, the web usage, visits to irs.gov. Okay, so when you're talking about irs.gov, last year the numbers were dramatically, what was it, like, man, over 255% more, in regards to people actually visiting the website. And I know it was because there was delays on refunds. People had questions about what was going on. Now, this is what's crazy. Ironically, this year, with the IRS putting out more information, even though they're consistently putting out information, we had less people checking the websites of the IRS.gov to get that valuable information. And the reason that stuck out to me is because almost every single day I'm getting calls from people, telling me what so-and-so said. So-and-so said that, we're going to get a forced stimulus check. So-and-so said that I can get more money back if I do that, if I can do that. Man, Joe Blow I'm going to the source. The IRS is the source, So whatever Joe Blow got going, that has nothing to do with legality because a lot of them going to get you messed up anyway. On the flip side, folks, we got to do our part and read. Now, I understand with the language, and I'm not preaching, but with the language, it can be a little confusing. And for my clients, man, if they got questions, I do try to answer them. But a lot of times, man, that information is readily available on the IRS website. But yeah, that number right there stuck out to me that it actually went down. Where we at? Page 4. I'm gonna start picking up speed here in a minute, guys. It says, in contrast, the volume of individual income tax returns processed this filing season increased just 4%. All right, so that red right there, I'm guessing that means it stuck out a little more to me. So this filing season, 3 of the most significant challenges have been the long delays resulting from manual processing of over 35 million tax returns. So that's this year. That's not last year. That's this year alone. And it says the inability to keep up with unprecedented volume of taxpayer telephone calls. So the challenges were the 35 million tax returns and then the unprecedented volume of telephone calls going to the IRS lines, and then also legislation changing. I mean, they changed legislation, right in the middle of tax season. And so those were the challenges of why this stuff was delayed. And once again, a lot of people are still going through this. I still have clients who are going through, they haven't been paid yet, or they haven't got their stimulus amount yet, or they're trying to figure out what's going on. And we're going to get to, they can't answer the phone. They don't have the capability of answering the phone. And I can attest for it because a lot of the clients, they call and they say, we pushed it back. When I talked to the IRS, they were saying 10 weeks. Normally they say 21 days or less. This tax season, I was told directly from the IRS representatives, 10 weeks. And so don't even reach out if it hasn't been 10 weeks. And I told a lot of my clients that. I tried to tell the majority of that. Now, the issue came because, you would get all of these people who got paid at different times. So, folks talk. Folks talk in these streets and they go to work and, girl, you ain't got your income tax yet? I got mine 2-3 weeks ago. Well, you got to understand that there was no rhyme or reason to what they had going. They just trying to get it in and get it out. Get the job done as accurate and as fast as they possibly could. So, they got their money. That's fine. You're going to get your money. They just had to work through it. So about 8 million of potentially eligible taxpayers had not received their first STEMI economic impact payment as of January 2021. So, man, even last year when they were giving those stimulus checks out, a lot of clients didn't get their money. And so what they said this year was that they were going to do the recovery rebate credit, in which whatever money that you miss, you would be able to knock it out and have that opportunity to get that money this year when you file the taxes. So it said as of May 21, 2021, 5 million returns were identified with inconsistent amounts claimed versus IRS records. So for whatever reason, a lot of people, moved. They moved apartments. They moved different houses. The IRS sent a lot of checks this year. A lot of them, they got direct deposit. A lot of them got checks this year. And so if you moved, relocated, you had to make sure that you do your, 8822, your address change, to make sure that you got that payment. We had to call the IRS with a lot of clients and try to update it verbally. But like I said, the IRS, man, that waiting time is a fool. And I can't even lie to you, man. It was the 2, 3, 4 hours sometimes to help one client. And so you got a couple of hundred clients. Imagine them with 140 whatever taxpayers trying to figure out what the heck is going on. So the IRS did not have the time to adjust its systems for the 2021 filing system, allowing the 2019 earnings to be systematically verified. So with these stimulus monies, basically what they did, they giving out the money, but they closed the faucet. So you think about it like this. When you get your paycheck, you're going to pay your bills, you're going to handle your business. But when you got some bills and you see these numbers ain't right, what you going to do? You're going to call them people and say, hey, man, what's going on? These numbers aren't right. Whatever you reported is not what we dished out. So if you got to put a track record on a trace on the stimulus monies, because some of them, they may say, well, it did pay out, or a lot of people, it went to the wrong bank account. People change bank accounts all of the time, change banks, change addresses. So like I said, they gave you an opportunity with the recovery rebate credit, and it's just slow, man. It's just slow. So boom. But a lot of y'all was lying. A lot of y'all either lied or forgot or didn't take the time out to report the accurate information when it came to your stimulus money. So even I had a few clients, hey man, did you get this amount? Did you get the first stimulus? Did you get the second stimulus? And then they would say, oh, no, I didn't get it. And then, I didn't get that. Oh man, what is they doing? They turn around and didn't get it, or they did got it, but they told me that they didn't get it. And so guess what? That delayed process even took longer, because now they got to verify, because the numbers aren't matching. They got to verify and see what's going on. It's already taking a long time just to do it in general, because of the pandemic and all these other issues. So this is kind of the processing, the numbers for 2019 through 2021. They went more into specifics. I'm not really worried about 2019. I want to go look at 2020 and 2021. So this was 2020. Bam. And so just to clarify, and once again, I'm going to drop this link in the comments once the broadcast is over. This is individual, business, not specified, and comparison of total volumes. So right here, individual 6 million. Business, 4.6 million. They don't even know, like just miscellaneous, 5.1 million. And so that left a grand total of 15.7 million. And that was paper returns awaiting processing. Paper returns. Remember, those paper returns have to have some eyeballs on them, not electronic. And so the electronic obviously can move a lot faster. But when you're trying to get these people who are working from home to get this stuff done, it's going to take forever. Now, error resolution cases. If you had issues, underreported income, forgot to put something in there, you had an issue, identity theft. Man, the identity theft has gone throughout the roof for last year and this year, just for the simple fact of got tongue tied, y'all. Bear with me. The EIP payments, man. Especially folks knew that, there was potential money out there. They went for the juggler, and folks was going for the ropes. Another thing is, when you file your returns, a lot of y'all hadn't filed in years, okay? And so when I say that, when you're filing your taxes, you can't just, if you haven't filed since 2014, guys, you are going to have to, file those previous years. So if you haven't filed in 2018, 2019, 2017, and you're filing 2020 trying to get this money, before they pay you out, they're going to say, hey, where are those old tax returns at? And so a lot of y'all don't have it. A lot of guys, clients, whatever, we had to call the IRS, try to see, what was on your transcript, pull what we could, and then go off of that, but you think about it, we had clients filing like 6 or 7 years back just so they could get the economic impact payment. So you're processing, and electronic files, you can file up to 3 years back electronic. But prior to that, everything has to be paper. And so we had more American people, American taxpayers, paying or filing multiple years of previous years' paper return taxes, and that it was system overload. And so, like I said, man, all of that is an explanation. Basically, the TAS is trying to let you know what the IRS was going through, because what it felt like, even with me during tax season, when I couldn't get them on the phone after waiting 2 or 3 hours, or you wait and the phone goes busy, or you wait and it hangs up, or you wait and you get on and then they hang up. I mean, it was ridiculous, but they're basically giving their justification of why these things took place the way they did. Basically it was a system overload. And so the identity theft cases, man, if just looking at the amount of identity theft cases, man, we even had them. What I recommend everybody does is get the IPP pin, identity protection pin. My clients, if I urge you to do it, if you need assistance, I can definitely help you. Man, get that, because there was so much identity theft going on that, we had new coming clients that, somebody else got their STEMI money, or somebody else carried their kids, and, that it was just, everything was in total disarray. So keeping that identity protection pin, not just for you, but for the kids as well, because the thing is, folks file the taxes and it don't be their identity that's stolen. It's somebody that carried their kid, so JoJo, Ray Ray, or whoever, man, protect yourself, protect your identity, protect your children's identity. Get that done. And if you need assistance with that, you can definitely give us a call or go to our website and set up a consultation. Or you can go to the IRS.gov website and it'll walk you through. It's pretty, we call it military Barney style. So until the IRS can manually work through those 35 million unprocessed tax returns, it will not be able to issue refunds for impacted taxpayers. So where's my refund tool? Man, where's my refund tool was, helpful in some ways, but basically, man, it's just like anybody else, man. Y'all owe me money. Where my money? I need my money, and I need it now. And that's basically what the American people did to the IRS. Where's my refund tool? The past 2 years. If you look at the numbers from 2018 all the way to 2021, man, 82% increase. So basically it was system overload. And then a lot of clients, like I said, the 10 days after that 21 days, it wouldn't show anything. It would just say we're still being processed, and it wouldn't have anything. Now, the frustrating part with that is because as a tax professional, you're kind of your first line of defense for your clients as a tax professional. And we can't even get the IRS on the phone. We had better luck than our taxpayers because, man, I was hearing horror stories about them, but we had it just as bad, and it's disheartening, when you couldn't help your clients because you can't get through, and there's no information available, and you get on the phone with them, and unless they've received a letter or some type of notification about what happened, or what information, what was the hiccup or whatever, you know, you just had to wait it out. And so that was the dilemma with a lot of taxpayers. You know, a lot of folks got their money, a lot of folks didn't. But the thing you had to understand is there really was no rhyme or reason. It doesn't seem like, because I would get clients that I file one, say today, and a week later they're paid. But I will file some clients where, it's been 10 weeks, 11 weeks, and they still haven't got paid. Well, I've told them 10 weeks, but if the IRS doesn't give us an update, that's still, it is what it is. We have to wait that out. So one of the recommendations that they did make was that, they improved the Where's My Refund tool and tell them what is the hiccup, give me an estimate of how long it's going to take, whatever. Now, the this telephone, man, these telephone numbers are ridiculous. So the IRS toll-free telephone lines remain the best option for most taxpayers who need to communicate with the IRS. And I don't know where they got their numbers from as far as the wait time, but I can tell you right now, it's way off from just just dealing with my clients. So the IRS received more telephone calls this filing season than any previous filing season. At one point, the height of the filing season, the IRS received over 1,500 calls per second. Over 1,500 calls per second. And that's basically folks calling every day. Hey, where's my money? Where's my money? Where's my money? Some of them had issues or whatever, but a lot of it was just impatient. They told them 3 weeks. It's been 5 weeks. Man, my tax professional must have did something, or is it the IRS done what's going on? They just got questions and couldn't offer any answers because it just overload. So these were the numbers in regards to the calls. So this is enterprise lines. Most of the clients, typical taxpayer, is going to be dealing with the Form 1040 line. That's whether you're, individual taxpayers, they're going to be dealing with that 1040 line. So just calls received was 85 million, over 85 million. Now, out of that, only 2.5 million were served. What percentage of that is it? It's 3%. So out of 85 million, only 3% of the calls are getting answered. And so, man, like I said, with the waiting in general, man, I think they said between, and we'll get to it in a second, during the 2021 tax filing season, they received 167 million calls on this enterprise-wide toll-free line. Yeah, redundant. Only 3% of callers' phone line reached customer service representative. That's 1 out of 33. Oh, this is where they got me. This is the fugaziness, because they're saying the average person waited about 20 minutes on hold. Hey, man, I don't know where they get those numbers from, but they hey. Now, conversely, the recovery rebate credit is subject to regular offset rules, paid for unpaid federal taxes and certain other debts. Fortunately, in mid-March, the IRS agreed to use its discretion. So basically, the first stimulus was offset by like child support or garnished wages or whatever the case may be. So in the later stimulus checks, they were allowed to bypass that on a lot of situations, but it was at the discretion of the IRS. If you had a debt, and because they tied them into your tax refund, if you owed money, but you didn't get your stimulus, then they use that stimulus money to go towards your debt. Fart of the start. I said the fart. Start of the following season. Yeah, liabilities reduce. Identity theft victims. Man, go get your IPP, guys. Go get your IPP. So this is beginning inventory. This is before tax season even starts for 2021. It was this many. So receipts. This is how many came in. This is where the protecting yourself and your loved ones comes into place, because those scammers is out there. Those thieves are out there. Watch them, y'all. Protect yourself. Apply for your pen right now, so that way, you're not dealing with this mess. Just being lazy. I mean, just in Facebook alone, I'm always seeing people talking about somebody, scam my page or broke into my page and stole my information or whatever. So the ending inventory. Now, even though they had the closures, the ending inventory was 227,000. That's just ridiculous. And this is basically saying the numbers were bigger, but it's potentially the numbers were bigger, but a lot of people, they may have suspected it. They may not even have caught it. So it says are not instructed to now. So if you had identity theft, you're gonna fill out the form 14039, and that's basically what we had to do with a lot of clients. And just to be honest, man, those delays is it's way longer than just a regular tax return that just hasn't come in. It's months. So I mean, got to thug it out, but at least you got the process started. Go ahead and get that IP pen. Taxpayers who anticipated receiving a STEMI, who suspect identity theft, basically taxpayer statement regarding refund. You fill this out when you want your stuff to be traced. Like, hey, it said I got it. I didn't get it. You want it traced. You fill out that form. The IRS will send you a letter informing that they can or cannot refund, or what to do with that situation moving forward. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is basically saying that, because of unemployment, they had to make adjustments for that. A lot of people, they filed they included their unemployment, and then they were issued a refund, and then they were supposed to get more back. So it was delays on that. Unemployment benefits. What else? Let me go back down. Limited voucher tax return. This is basically VITA. This is volunteers who help people who are under a certain threshold amount. A lot of folks, because of COVID, they just didn't show up and volunteer. They couldn't do it because of the pandemic. Individual. Basically, these are the numbers for them. They went down. Like I said, I'm going to keep going. Other filing season challenges. Taxpayers are notified to, oh man. So a lot of you got a 5071C, a letter in the mail, basically wanting to verify your identity. They will have you go create an account. You go in, you verify, that this is who I am. This is my bank account. And a lot of people, they just didn't do it. They hadn't got around to it. A lot of people went and did it. And then even after that, it would say like something like 6 to 8 weeks or 8 to 10 weeks. And you should get it in the mail, So, man, it's crazy. But that's why I say, man, you can eliminate a lot of stuff by getting that IP pen. Then they give you the line, but the line was kind of irrelevant because people weren't answering the phones. Or I won't say they weren't answering the phones. They just, it was overwhelmed. So paperless fax capabilities. Basically, they implemented some new things so that people could, pull their information, see what's going on, review their tax issues with your tax professionals. Your tax professional might have a CAF number, electronic submissions of the power of attorney, and all of that good stuff, so that we could go in and see what's going on with the IRS. Anybody who's a tax professional, they're going to have that CAF number and pull that information from you, have you fill that out. In most cases, it was wet ink. It had to be signed with wet ink and not electronic, but now they've done it to, you can kind of do it electronic now. So, but once again, this is paperless fax capabilities. This is if you can get them on the phone. And so a lot of times, can't get them on the phone. Where a lack of working printers, closure of Federal Record Center, a lot of places that were shut down. Like, basically, I think about it as kind of like the military, guys. So with the military, or any organization for that matter, it's essentially a machine. And so with it being a machine, this department, yes, they're part of the IRS, but they may not have a clue what's going on in that department. And if you got a job and you work in corporate or wherever, if I'm working at McDonald's and all I know how to do is fries, I don't know nothing about burgers. All I know is fries. And so that would be what would happen a lot of times. We would call and inquire about taxpayers' situation, and the issue would be, that's not our department. Okay, great. Can you transfer me to that department? Well, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, they're shut down, et cetera, et cetera. And so, it's a machine. And so that was also another frustration. So basically, like I said, this is the Taxpayer Advocate Service. They're just an independent organization that works with the IRS, or of the IRS, and they basically putting this statement out to kind of brief and say, hey, what the heck is going on? Taxpayer Assistance Centers. This is if you wanted to meet with the IRS face to face. Once again, in most cases, you have to set an appointment. There were very few cases where, even if you look at the numbers, I think they have the numbers on here, where, walk-in exceptions. So, exceptions. That means you really ain't supposed to be in there like that. It just depends on the luck of the draw as far as if you can get in or not. Face-to-face appointments. The problem is with face-to-face appointments, you got to call and make an appointment. So if you can't get through on the phone to make an appointment, then you kind of stuck. These are the self-service tools. To create your taxpayer account with the IRS, man. And this is what happens with a lot of taxpayers, especially if you got identity theft. I've dealt with some clients, new-coming clients who dealt with identity theft and have all types of stuff in their credit, on their credit. Well, you got to have something tied to your credit to open this account, i.e. a credit card, a mortgage, a home equity loan, a home equity line of credit, or a car loan. So, and I'm not judging anybody, but what I will say is a lot of people, it would be student loans. And so with student loans, depending on what type of student loan it was, that will be an unacceptable way to create your account. But creating this account at least sets you up to kind of dig into your own numbers and see what the heck is going on. A cell phone with the taxpayer's name on the account, not pay as you go minutes. So if you got a track phone or one of those phones from the gas station, it's got to be tied to your name because it's got to be tied to your credit. But all of this stuff you should know by heart or on your tax return, email address. But this was the kicker, because a lot of people, if you've been a victim of identity theft, when you do those verification to go like actually pull your credit and check your credit, if somebody's utilized your credit, you already out of there. Or I dealt with a lot of clients who all they had was student loans, so they had to, do other things. And like I said, they say you can call and get on the phone, but if you can't get through the phone, then you can't do you know, man. So what else we got? This is for non-residential aliens. I mean, this is case by case basis. You know, we have them. Not to say that they aren't out there, but there are. You know, on a case by case basis, man, you probably dealing with a tax professional if you're dealing with a 1040 NR. Most people are not trying to do that by themselves, especially, uh, you know, a lot of times there are language barriers and things like that. But yeah, this was from the TAS, kind of an update. It was long, but it was 20 something pages in what 40 minutes. But hey man, if you got issues, if I put this information out because I feel like it was valuable for you guys just to understand what's going on. Because one, I want you to understand, bear with your tax professional. Please bear with us. Even if you're not dealing with me, if you're dealing with anybody that is a tax professional, please handle it with care because you know a lot of this stuff they're fighting for you, but there just might not be anything they can do with the IRS side because of the limited, you know, amount of assistance or basically help that they had this year. The volunteers were down. People, the basically the phone system was short. Everybody was working from home with the national pandemic, and then they got STEMI 1, STEMI 2, STEMI 3, and then not even to talk about amendments. If you look in there, man, the amendments were put to a halt because amendments are basically something needs to be changed. You're filing paperwork so that it can be updated and changed. Well, if they're saying we're not even dealing with that right now, something was screwed up, we'll deal with that later. The problem at hand right now is the issues that we have now. So a lot of that stuff they got put on the back burner. And so with amendments, man, a lot of clients they shut their case down, couldn't even get through to talk about it, or they're telling them to wait on a letter or some type of notification, and it comes way later. Um, so man, this is basically just an update. I wanted to keep you informed about what's going on. Bear with the IRS. Whatever the situation is, if you got a tax professional that's working with you, just try to stay in communication with them. And if they won't answer the phone, or you know, you can't get in contact with them, you probably need to find somebody that you can deal with, you know, year round that can answer questions or at least try to advocate for you. To see what the heck is going on. Now, whether or not they could get through to the IRS is just more so persistence and is the IRS available. But outside of that, you know, bear with your tax professional. If you get some type of notification or correspondence in the mail, notify your tax professional as soon as possible so that you know, we can figure out what the heck is going on. A lot of times the verbiage of those letters, man, it can be, you know, intimidating, and you know there can be some, you know, comprehension or man, I don't know, this sounds like, you know, lawyer words or whatever. So, but anyway, if you've got any questions or concerns, you know, please give us a call. Our number is 866-598-0057, or you can go to our website and set up a meeting or consultation. Once again, we're going to continue to keep giving you this information. You guys be blessed.